May from 23. Operation is good and it's blocked. It's blocked and it's over. Valley wins. 34-31. Valley wins the Battle of Wayne.
Whew. I love Resnick's color commentator. Sounds like a kid up in the... But that wasn't DeFazio, was it? Wait, Valley wins! It was great.
Ty Cummings.
Yeah.
Braden Rude. I mean, like, listen, they play some... Listen, these two teams play some wild games through the years, man. You know, it's crazy to think because we're going to talk a lot about, Danny Ferrullo, the quarterback, and who becomes the all-time leading passer for Wayne Valley. He passes his brother. Grant, who is now on the staff at Wayne Valley. Can you tell I watched 100 Yards with Darren Cooper? We'll get to that later. But it's a crazy story because his brother's quite a bit older than him. He's on the staff now. You go back to the 2016 game that his brother was the quarterback for Wayne Valley. Mike, that season, Grant Ferrullo.
Think 9 years is a big difference between brothers?
Yeah.
I'm 10 years older than my brother.
No, there you go. It's fine. But it's like, when I'm sure he was, he grew up idolizing his brother Grant because Grant was a ridiculously good quarterback at Wayne Valley. In the 2016 season, Mike, he threw for 3,300 yards and 40 touchdowns, that year, including 6 touchdowns against Morris Knowles,
what was Morris Knowles' record?
I have no idea.
Were they piling it on?
He was slinging it, he was at an average of 31 times a game, right? And that was Wayne Demikoff, the early years of Wayne Demikoff. Remember, they met in the state final that year.
Yeah.
That was that wild game where they went back and forth. Wayne Hills would win in overtime, but that was, if you remember,
was that the lateral?
The Statue of Liberty, where where the Hayek brothers, it was Brendan DeVara, that was the quarterback for Wayne Hills. The Statue of Liberty to Hayek, it goes nowhere. Wayne Valley has the play stopped. He rugby throws the ball behind his head. Remember that? And then DeVara gets it back and gets the first down. Yeah. And so they score a touchdown on that drive in overtime to take the lead. And then Wayne Valley looks like they're about to win, tie the game in overtime, and the ball is fumbled through the end zone for a touchback, which meant the game was over. But wild games through these guys through the years. And listen, Friday nights in Wayne, we love the matchup, Mike, because it's all Wayne. The town of Wayne shuts down.
The colors are so dramatic.
What else are you doing in Wayne this past Friday night than being at that game? So it was 4,000 people, 5,000, 3,500. I don't know what it was. It's a massive crowd every year.
How many people were at the DePaul game that night?
I don't know. 1,165? I have no idea.
There are people at Wayne Hills think that they didn't win because you had Demikoff on the show last week.
Why is that?
Because you're a jinx.
I'm the.
How'd that go last week?
I'm the Malloy. I thought it went well.
Yeah. What'd you think, Vin?
Vin? How'd you think it went last week? Yes, Vin. Yeah. I love when you bring these enthusiastic kids from Clifton here. Boy, look at this guy.
What's the guy's name who's asleep next to you? Give him some more pizza.
I thought it went well.
In the old days on Quick 60, you would have threw him right out of here.
Let me get him.
I don't know. You're softening in your old age. Yeah, it went fun. It was fun. It was good to have Coach Demikoff and talking football and listen. It's they won't play each other in the playoffs, and I'm sure the Patriots. But the Patriots, they came to play on Friday night. I mean, you're going to show the highlights in a second.
You know what? Fantastic. Listen. You could say a procedure cost them. Hit it, Vin.
Yeah.
Hit it, Vin.
Hit it, Vin.
Come on, Vin. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Here come the Patriots.
First quarter.
Mike.
Yep.
They come out slinging.
Fitzsimmons to Chernow St. Paul, 7-0. The color, I just love the colors. The maroon and the Columbia, Carolina blue. Look at this. They use that 2-quarterback system Demikoff does. Jimmy Wolf to Ethan Zakarski, 38-yard touchdown.
Hey, there was a wolf loose on Friday night in Wayne.
Third quarter, it's Fitzsimmons and St. Paul again. 17 yards. Go home, everybody. This thing is over.
Throwing on the run, too, like that. Beautiful.
Hold on. Danny Boy, 8 yards to Bryce Flower.
Yeah. Ferrullo would throw 3 touchdown passes in the game, and once he gets it going, he just looks the part, doesn't he? Look at this.
Here, a little boot roll to Ty Cummings. Like what Cummings does here. Gets it inside the pylon. Cummings was the start of a big night. As you know, that cut the lead to 3. Fourth quarter, they take the lead for good. Jaden Corbalis Look at this guy scoot.
The Navigator, great feat. Mike, there was 3 lead changes in the fourth quarter of this game. This is theater on Friday night in Wayne.
Here's one of those lead changes. Evan Rappaport, 12 yards. Great cutback in the burst into the end zone. So Hill's feeling pretty good, 31-28. But Danny Boy back to work, 61 yards. Look at this pitch.
Had it all.
Corvallis.
What's a great game? Big plays, turnovers, drama, had it all.
Well, the drama was they missed the extra point. So seconds left. Patriots going to go for the win.
Why not? They're going in.
They jump. So Demaclaw says, you know what? We got to do the right thing. Let's get this thing to overtime.
Of course.
And then Ty Cummings says, we're going home.
Oh, my goodness.
Party time.
A walk-off block.
34-31. Wayne Valley, they've been playing since 1991, as you said. I think 13 of these 25 games have come down to like 1 touchdown games or something. It's just a great rivalry. But listen, nobody, and Benaquista, the head coach for Valley, said, listen, we've struggled all year trying to get extra points, trying to get field goals, but nobody listen, the blocked field goal is one thing, but Valley forced 3 turnovers in the second half. And then a procedure. You don't jump off sides. Listen, you don't know for sure if the Patriots are going to score there. But, 1 yard, you have nobody to blame but themselves. Valley won the game, but did Hills give them the game?
Yeah, Ty Cummings, what a night, athlete, catches a touchdown pass. And, listen, you just know one thing. When they break that defensive huddle and Hills is about to line up for that field goal, guys like Ty Cummings are thinking, I'm getting this.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember 2 weeks ago?
And Braden, too. I mean, it's kind of like you need like the super slow-mo to see who got that.
Do you remember 2 weeks ago when we were over doing the show at Brady's and the freshman Owen Gaddis from the television crew over there at Wayne Hills, I said, give me the score for Caldwell, Wayne Valley. He goes, we're going to win by 30. I think the final was 35-0. Now, this is why Hook Street sent us over the things, because this is a very tough thing for an announcer. The Cantilli, Stone, Gaddis, these guys are Wayne Hill students. They lose a heartbreaker to their arch rivals. I wanted to see how it sounded through the eyes of the Wayne Hills television studio.
And they sent it to you.
They sent it to me, and I'm going to tell you this right now. These kids are so good because you could tell it hurt, but they're still very professional. Vin.
Farlow back to pass. Farlow firing way downfield. He's got Cabrales. No one's there. Cabrales is still on his feet. No! Touchdown, Wayne Valley. Wayne Valley takes the lead 34-31 with 1.5 minutes to go. This Wayne Valley side is screaming right now. Matt May from 25 to send this game to overtime. Matt May, the kick is up. It's no good. It's blocked.
I mean, that is legit. They weren't screaming like, oh, my God, we're losing. I thought it was really good.
They were living in the moment, man.
They were living in the moment. That is like, if you listen to that and you were in the networks and you said, this is a high school kid calling this game, you'd be like, okay, you went to Wayne Valley, right? I thought they did a great... Guys, you did a great job. You did an awesome job. Congratulations. I know the loss stinks, but you guys were fair right down the middle. Really good. I love these Wayne Hills TV dudes.
There were times as a St. Joe's guy that I would call St. Joe's games, and remember the epic victory Bergen Catholic had in overtime at St. Joe's?
Oh, yeah.
And St. Joe's people would say, don't really love how excited you get for the other guys.
Buddy,
and I used to say to them all the time, I go, listen, I'm being paid to be an announcer. I got to play it.
You told me after the St. Peter's game this year that you thought that St. Joe's, based on your 3 last calls, was going to take you out of the Hall of Fame. I thought you were great.
Well, it didn't help that you were playing them over and over on the show, and then they, on social media they were popping up. But it's like, hey, listen, everybody has their moment in the sun, and they know that. And hopefully, for the St. Joe's Nation, we'll be on the call Saturday afternoon against Don Bosco, and
we'll talk about that game in a little bit. Cabrales, 238 all-purpose yards on 12 touches, 2 touchdowns. Elizer Estevez, 18 carries, 176 yards, and 1 score.
A game, I mean,
pop that schedule up there for Wayne Valley, please.
Yeah,
thank you, Ben. It ain't easy.
No, but it's when you're playing with a lot of confidence. I mean, this one right in front of them, forget about it, Mike. This is going to be a very difficult equation, but hey, when you got Danny Boy and the AA Express, Eliza Estevez, and you're playing with this much confidence, and you want good games like this. This is almost another, you know what this should be called? This should be called the Market Basket Classic right here, because between Ramapo and Wayne Valley sits in the middle, the great Market Basket food market.
I thought the Market Basket sat in the middle of Wayne Hills and Ramapo.
Well, I mean, come on, Wayne Hills, Wayne Valley. How far away are they? They're like a mile apart.
Is that true?
I'm just saying, if you live in the Wayne Valley School District, or the Wayne Hills School District, or the Indian Hills School District, or the Ramapo School District, you go to Market Basket.
Indian Hills won again.
Yeah, and you bring your wallet and then some at the Market Basket. But they live up to the hype. The place is outstanding. So this could be the market. But like I said, this is another sort of backyard brawl. These kids all grew up playing against one another, whether you go to Ramapo, Wayne Valley, Wayne Hills, or Indian Hills.
Vin, what's Jimmy been thinking about?
Oh, yeah. I've been thinking about some stuff, Mike.
Little music, please, Vin.
You know what? It's time for me to get back. I had a terrible thing happen. I had an email blow up on me, so I had to change my email. Then I went. My Twitter account, Mike. I could not transfer.
Followers.
This is what happened. I launched a new Twitter account. Okay, this is a disaster. My daughters are saying you're an embarrassment. You shouldn't even have it up. How could this be? I relaunched
Which one of the girls is crushing you?
Josie is crushing me. She's my third follower. I only had 2. I relaunched it this week, and I only had 3 followers. So it's like, can you guys help me out here? We're going to have Cooper out here. He's got like 190,000 on that Varsity Aces.
Can you tweet out to me? Thank you.
Come on.
And have your people. You have thousands of people. Have them follow.
What is going on?
This is sad.
I had thousands of followers. You can't change your account without an active email. Okay, the email blew up. X is like a company you can't talk to anybody. It's like,
who's your buddy that was in the FBI? Couldn't he do a forensics thing?
Hal and Ann, come on. But if you have an email that doesn't work anymore, when you go to switch your Twitter X account from one phone to the new phone, which I did, they go, oh, what's the email that's associated with the account? It doesn't work anymore. Well, then you can't have this account anymore. So the account died with thousands of followers that I literally built one by one.
Do you have verification of the old account so we could at least show it to show you were relevant at one point?
Let's just listen.
No, seriously, because that's sad. Josie's right. I would actually love if we could get Josie to zoom into the show right now.
I actually tweeted out the link for the show tonight. You know what I mean? It's like, but it's so good. So it's apparently falling on deaf ears.
Josie and Lisa know the show's on right now.
On deaf ears.
Vin, what else has this guy been thinking about?
Oh, listen. You know that I do these games, right? And I have all these game charts, okay? So I'm looking at, I was doing the Bosco DePaul game, and I have all my Bosco charts through the years, right? I got the Matt Sims chart, I got the Brett Knief charts, I got the Tommy DeVito charts, I got all these charts, right? So this is the chart from this past week, nice and white. Once upon a time, I used to use these manila folders, and I pulled out my chart from Don Bosco from 2010, and
What'd you spill on?
I know. So, through the years, I spilled things.
Was that the St. Joe's sausage and peppers?
I came to the conclusion. Now, listen, we can go on and on. You could bring Darren Cooper out here. You could bring Jimmy Avatabli out here. Who's the greatest team ever? One guy's going to say, 98 Bergen Catholic. Another guy's going to say, no way, the Hoboken
98 Bergen Catholic's the second best.
Okay, whatever you want to say.
03 Bosco.
What I'm going to tell you is the chart that I found for Don Bosco, okay, I have come to the realization, okay, this is the most impressive roster I have ever seen. Like I said, Don Bosco won 46 games in a row with this group in the midst of this. So a lot of their rosters are impressive. A lot of their teams are impressive. You can go, 97 St. Joe's, greatest team ever. We're not going to go on and on about greatest team ever because that's subjective. You get
scared when that happens, right?
I'm going to tell you what I have here. In my Don Bosco 2010 team. Let me just go over some of the players, okay? Leonte Carew, Rutgers, NFL. Uri Wright, Colorado, 3-year starter. Elijah Shoemate, Notre Dame starter. Gary Nova, quarterback. Originally committed to Pittsburgh, of course, Rutgers, outstanding. Then you have, you got to have Jabril Peppers, okay? He was a freshman on this team.
Read your note. I like your note.
My note next to his name is 14 years old. He was playing in that game, okay? They have the kicker in Aiden Murray, right? You have guys like...
Whose brother Patrick became a pro.
Exactly, right? Paul Carnevale. Okay, no. Keon Washington, of course, would finish at Paramus Catholic, go to Colgate. Yeah, baby. Raiders, go Raiders. Kyle Sikowski. Now, you say Sikowski, right? Okay, not a movie star, but went to Lafayette. He was North Jersey Defensive Player of the Year that year. Okay, but I'm sticking with the movie stars. So you got Carew, Yuri Wright, Elijah Shoemate.
Can you please just for me,
Gary Nover?
Hold on. For me, can you just mention him?
Yeah. Yes.
Please.
Rajon Gross.
Oh, I loved him.
Two-time
Absolutely
New Jersey
loved
State
him.
Wrestling champ. Another one of those glue
great.
guys, and just
Charismatic
heart and soul.
on the
Right?
interviews,
but
too.
this is about star power on your roster. So we went through some of the stars. Michael Strizak, Boston College. Al-Quadin Muhammad, okay? Of course, Miami, still in the NFL right now. We chronicled it a few weeks ago for the Detroit Lions. Jabril Peppers, still in the NFL. Leonte Carew played in the NFL. That's 3 NFL players on one high school team. And as we go down the line, Spencer Scannell, like good glue player on the staff now, I'm going to round it off with Tyler Samra, UConn, and of course the little hammer, Darius Hamilton, right there.
One of the nicest kids ever.
To me,
Ever.
when you have, there's 8 or 9 FBS commits on this team.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 NFL guys, okay? There's everything you want in high school football. What do you need? Quarterback, kicker, and stars all over the place. They had it all.
Mm-hmm.
This, I'm just going to say, is the most impressive roster I've ever seen out there.
So if they played 03
And
Bosco, who would win?
Here's the note of notes.
He heard what I said.
Okay, I have no idea, right? Here's the note of notes I'm going to give you that, okay? Because once upon a time, you had great respect for the U.S. Army All-American game. Mm-hmm. You thought it was a good thing, right?
I did, yeah.
It was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
There's 5 of them. 6 of them on this, right? I got a picture of 4 of them, right? Okay? Who's the guys in the middle?
Oh, look at Stinson.
Bill Tierney and Ed
Tierney.
Stinson. And then, from left to right, that's Elijah Shoemate, Yuri Wright. There's Leonte Carew, and there's Darius Hamilton. So there's 4 of them. And then you have, of course, not in this picture, Jabril Peppers, who was named the U.S. Army All-American, actually played in the Under Armour game. That's 5. And the 6th one is Al-Quadin Muhammad. So, Mike, you tell me how this is not the most impressive round. 6 Army All-Americans, U.S. Army All-Americans on one high school football team.
Tierney
yes,
sent you that
Bill
picture?
Tierney sent me that. We went through it today because, of course, when I need to talk about Don Bosco's, legendary run, I got to confirm all of my information with them. So you tell me, 3 NFL players, 6 U.S. Army All-Americans.
No, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
no,
that's pretty good.
legit.
Right? That's pretty good. That was fun. You listened.
They still wouldn't beat the.
And by the way, remember Sal Mastriani on this team?
Yeah.
Wrestled at Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Just like Lars Larson, one of our favorites. Okay, a linebacker at a small.
But
went on to Amherst.
It's funny that you're saying this because in the game the other night against DePaul, and I was going to say it a little later in the show. I'll say it now. A lot of those guys, not the runway models,
yes,
but a lot of them reminded me of Gino Greco, the way he played the other night. I thought Gino Greco the other night, number 30, undersized linebacker, I thought he was terrific. Wow, hit it, man. Okay, so again, it seems like every week I look at things and Northern Highland comes up. You had a feeling that Old Tappan Northern Highlands would come up in this one. They played just another classic. Roll the video, Vin. Here we go, first quarter. Highland's going to strike first, Jim. He's having a great year. Tucker Canning, 49 yards.
Wow, I mean, listen, they came out of the gate moving the football. They score first. This is the recipe for success. Who knew, Mike? It might be their only score of the night. How's that possible? Here comes Zach on the attack.
Yeah, to Shane Small, who plays so big, tied it at 7. Then in the third, here's your game winner. Maselli is a magician in the pocket. Again, Brian Dunn somehow, some way gets it done, and look at this catch by Leo Etter.
Listen, Mike, the bottom line is he keeps his eyes downfield while under duress. There's a guy dragging him down with an ankle pick, and he still does what he has to do.
Late in the game, Highland's going to drive the field. They're going to get down deep, come up with a 4th and 5. They get aided by a couple of penalties here. They get deep, and the throw deflected, and Old Tappan, well, somehow, some way, they win again. Injuries, everything, undermanned, and they just keep winning. They get a bye this week. So does Northern Highlands. Both teams deserve a bye after that one. Vernon. Go ahead, Vin. Show that. Vernon hands High Point their first loss of the year. This was a fun game. 35-28. Hit it, Vin. Second quarter, High Point going to take a 14-7 lead. Jerron Martres to Landon Sorensen. And this is just the start of wildness now over the next 12 minutes. Third quarter, Nate Kimkowski, just a sophomore for Vernon, gives them their first lead from 5 yards out. He wasn't done. Fourth quarter, wow. Jim, look at this. 6'3", 195, 28, 14, 52 yards.
Yeah, you know, when your quarterback can run like that, you call his number. And that's what they did time and time again.
And then he would call other people's number because not only can he run, but the lefty can throw it right there over the middle. Yep, to Sam Silva, 38 yards as they go on to give High Point their first loss of the year, 35-28. All right, elsewhere, Behringer. How about this, Jim? We don't mention them much. 34-0 over Patterson-Kennedy. They snap a 20-game losing skid. Junior running back Sean Smith, 177 yards and 3 touchdowns. How about this? I love these type of stats. Behringer had only scored 24 points in their first 4 games.
You know, Monday a lot of times is just a film day, recovery. I bet you Behringer's practice yesterday, Tuesday, was one of the most festive environments. Good for those guys. You put the time in. If you're a senior, you've been part of that losing streak. You get that first W, man. Must have been so much life during that practice, a lot of excitement. Great job, fellas.
Jim, nobody was expecting much from Roxbury this year. A very young team, not experienced. They only had 1 win last year. Now through 6 games, they have 4. Coach Ryan Rooms, he is really getting it done. Back and forth game, 4 lead changes. Quarterback Frankie Falco, 300 all-purpose yards and 3 touchdowns. DJ Benfati, the game-winning 28-yard touchdown on 9 carries for 114 yards. They stopped a potential game-winning 2-point conversion with 47 seconds left. This is their 3rd consecutive win in dramatic fashion. You had the field goal, I think, last week when I was
right.
in here.
And it's, you know what? It's, you think about the fans, you think about the Gale Nation, you think about these kids, and it's like, you know, they're playing 48 minutes of great, fun, competitive, on the edge of your seat football. I mean, look, it's all great. It's always great to beat a team by 4 or 5 touchdowns, and you got the game, you know, Hayes in the barn. But, like, you know, right now, Roxbury, man, you show up for these games as a parent, as a grandparent, as a neighbor, as a player, and for 48 minutes, you're invested in these games.
God, we used to have so much fun with Roxbury and Coach LaRussa back in the day. I'll never forget.
But, you know, I was thinking about him the other night because did you see the moon on Monday? It was Cosmo's moon.
What does that mean?
It's just big, beautiful moons on Monday night. Darren, wasn't there some kind of crazy moon situation? Supermoons, yeah, supermoons.
Why would you think of Cosmo?
Because don't you remember the famous line? It's Cosmo's moon.
Well,
any guy named Cosmo is part of a big moon.
All right, we got to take a commercial. I'm going to stop talking. He was talking.
By the way,
night.
one note about the Northern Highlands Ultapan. Listen, Coach Dunn's boys made some adjustments. 277 yards for Northern Highlands, 258 yards rushing. Just think about that. 258 yards rushing the game. But in the second half, only 94 total yards. Ultapan made things difficult in the red zone. A little bending, no breaking. That's a signature of a championship team.
Oh, by the way, speaking of defense, how about Anthony Campanelli and the Jacksonville Jaguars? You see that 97-yard interception return the other night?
I was just
the Chiefs.
You know, with all the takeaways they've had, and I was just waiting for a takeaway, you know, so we can get some Anthony Camp talk. But it's a wonderful New Jersey football story that's being told in Jacksonville, Florida right now, and it's great to see, man. It really is.
Well,
great to
one
see.
Campy had
seems like just yesterday he was throwing up in garbage cans at MetLife before Don Bosco State Championships.
One Campy had an interception go his way. Another Campy had to go against him Friday night.
Isabella's done a wonderful job with this Bosco team this year. Now Salmon loading up, looking deep. The coverage is there. Salmon now takes it over the top. This one is intercepted. Intercepted. Kane Ramos. This is going to be a pick six. Special K. Kane Ramos. The sophomore delivers. It's a touchdown for Don Bosco.
Prosperity is achieved one step at a time, with each success building on the last, transforming your money into something extraordinary. Whatever your goals, the team at Kearney Bank can help them take shape with products and services that help you master your money. Your first car, college tuition, a new home, even retirement. Let's make your dreams a reality together at Kearney Bank. See how today at KearneyBank.com.
Sport performance is a team effort. As former athletes and now psychotherapists, we want to help athletes train their minds with the same commitment that they train their bodies.
Through team workshops or one-on-one sessions, we will help athletes and teams develop skills like confidence, focus, and visualization.
We will help them learn to bounce back from mistakes,
manage nerves, and think clearly under pressure.
At the Lucan Center Sports Performance Program, we help support athletes and their support systems work at their best.
Book an appointment today to see how you can train your mind and elevate your game.
When the game is on the line, you need a team that knows strength, recovery, and performance. At Alliance Orthopedics, we keep athletes moving, stronger, faster, and better every day. For every parent, for every athlete, Alliance Orthopedics. Better every day.
Second down and 10. Tyler Bell, plenty of time to serve in the field. Bell now steps into this one, fires a strike. There's the one to Hunter Watson. Touchdown for St. Prep. Hunter Watson, not connection for a touchdown in the season. And that tempo-bound Hunter Watson gives St. Peter's Prep a 2-touchdown.
That's music there, Vincent. All right, come on, let's go. That was a really good call by you. I'm telling you right now, I think Tyler Bell thought he had a bye week last week, too. Like, Tyler Bell is a really good quarterback. Yeah. To me, he seemed, we'll get to it in a second, I just thought he seemed so disinterested in that game. And you know what? I'm just going to tell the truth. These kids are going to college for free. Everybody kind of pats him on the hiney. You're the greatest. You know what? He's really good. Didn't play like that the other day. He did not. I thought he was disinterested in the game. He was
searching for his rhythm the entire game,
and we loved him the week before.
Right, and listen, you'll have days like that as an athlete, no doubt about it.
So Don Bosco,
we all did.
Yeah, no, you know.
One thing, as we get to Don Bosco and DePaul, when DePaul scores, as a broadcaster, never look down at your chart to see who the kicker is, because as soon as I look down, what did Nicky do? Oh man, he went campy on us.
No, I know, that was crazy. Before we get to the highlights, one of the guys is going to be in the highlights. I mentioned Gino Greco already. I just thought he was terrific. Number 30, Aiden O'Neill, number 8, defensive lineman for Don Bosco. He is scary good, and I love what you said when you walked off the field after the game.
Yeah, I wish I took a picture of him because, I mean, I use that term central casting. This guy looks like he's right out of central casting. I mean, he's 6'6".
You said he looked like Hutchinson, right?
Yeah, he looks like another Aiden.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah. Aiden Hutchinson is 6'7".
Yeah,
270 pounds. Aiden O'Neill is 6'6", 250 pounds. But he's only a junior in high school.
Yeah.
But listen, you can't. This is not a size and strength contest, or else bodybuilders would be all over NFL fields. I mean, he combines it with amazing athleticism. He was chasing guys down from behind. He was, and you just, wow, of course you can, he's got a million offers and all that stuff, but you want to talk about a ceiling. You want to talk about a trajectory.
Same with Allen.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, we're going to show Allen.
Yeah, Makai Allen, and 18-8. I had a conversation with Augie Hoffman going into our broadcast today. You know what I mean? And just, 8 and 18 come up pretty often in that conversation.
No way. 64 should too. Hit it, Vin. Okay, this was a good game, Vin. Hit it, Vin. Vin, highlights. We are struggling tonight.
Hey, watch this at the goal line. Watch who he trucks because it's noteworthy. He trucks number 23 at the goal line, Mike. It's noteworthy. Go ahead, baby.
That's one of the great runs you'll ever see by a quarterback. Then the Campanelli trickery. They're up 8-7. Bosco would come right down the field and score. They come back, score at the end of the first quarter. The story of this game, the emergence of Carson Shane. We've talked about him all year, but he was the one offensively that hurt DePaul. There, the big touchdown pass to Isaiah Alvarez. Here, they do it again. He drops it right in the bucket for Alvarez. and that sets up the DD Express, as you like to say.
Yeah, Dante DeLuca, the captain, when they're inside the 5, they're going his way. DePaul would try, of course, a little trickery here, get it back to Zamet. Look at this ball traveling in the air, Mike. What's this, about 55, 60 in the air? Woo!
I talked to Phil Simms on Saturday morning. He was at the game. He just loves Zamet. Yeah. Thought that was a big-time throw. They don't get in on first and second down. Zamet, the Washington bounder, calls his own number. They get in. Time running out in the half. Here's a big play right here.
Yeah, look at the score, Mike. It's a 6-point game. Makes it a 9-point game because the guy could kick a 47-yard field goal. Johnny Dever, amazing.
Going to Yale next year. Second half, all Bosco. There's Allen right there. We thought it was a safety. Didn't matter. They have to punt on the next play. Alvarez. Nicky Campanelli told us during the week he was afraid that number 1 could get a breakout game for Bosco. They worried about him. He did have that breakout game, and this set up your buddy, the sophomore, Kasai Thomas from 13.
Yeah, Kasai, listen, he's becoming a story here. Comes over after his freshman year at St. Thomas Aquinas. He's the go-to guy now from an athlete standpoint in the backfield. And I mentioned, remember before when I told you somebody got trucked at the goal line? That was Kane Ramos. It was all over social media, number 23 and right, getting absolutely leveled, okay, from the quarterback at the goal line. How do you think this felt to Kane Ramos, Mike? A pick 6.
There you felt go, good, too, about it. The week before, he had one call back against Bergen. And this was a nice moment. Dylan Rona, who started the year as the Bosco quarterback, got a touchdown pass there to Alvarez, 47-15. Now, Jim, I think I did say on the broadcast that Carson Shane, based on those guys up front, the FBI protecting him like bodyguards, that he should take his linemen out to dinner. Hit it, Vin.
Did he?
Sure did.
Oh, my goodness.
How about this?
Come on, this is so
He took him to Florida.
This is so Don Bosco. He took him to Florida?
I don't know. Look at the trees.
So Don Bosco, it's not even funny.
New Jersey. Look at that foliage.
I mean, what did he get some advice from the Giants offensive line? What, you couldn't get them like wave runners or Rolexes? Nah, this is a nice job by Carson Shane. And listen, this is right out of the playbook of how a quarterback treats the guys that protect him. And that's fun.
I've never seen Rhett Morris, the left guard, number 64, going to West Virginia without a helmet. But my guess is that's him on the right. He was an absolute
Did they have to
killer.
elevate him on the rocks?
Oh, my God. He was so good the other night. The whole Noah Shippey. We talked about Morris. Joey Lucas, the sophomore center. Michael O'Neahan, the junior right guard. Right tackle, Danny Zenzer. These guys were flat out terrific the other night, and they're going to have to be again. All right, Ben, they're going to have to be again on Saturday because St. Joe's has got some dudes up front.
Yeah.
Rhett Morris, on a couple of those highlights, he is just, and then he got called for a personal foul at one point in that game.
Not a great
I
call.
never heard the whistle.
No.
Oh, by the way, you told me. I guess I was killing the officials during the Seton Hall prep game the other day, and there was an official running the clock.
Well, of course there's an official running the clock. That's what they do. They sit in the press box next to us running the clock, and you weren't killing the referees for throwing flags. And the guy is looking over at you like this. And then at one point,
he knew I was right.
Yeah, and he was wiping his brow. But couple reflections on Don Bosco as they go into this big one with St. Joe's. Obviously, St. Joe's has been sitting around waiting for this now after losing to St. Peter's. They will get a couple guys back at St. Joe's.
Yeah, Nate Bailey's definitely playing.
Nate Bailey, number 7. Who knows about best the quarterback? That's a game-time decision maybe. Mm-hmm. But I thought Carson Shane, Mike, threw the ball with wonderful touch in this game. I mean, he had a little bit of like Chad Pennington in him with, you don't have to be able to throw the ball through a wall, okay, to be super effective. And he put the ball on the money. His footwork was terrific. And listen, it's not always going to be perfect for him in his sophomore year, okay, because everything now points to him Saturday at 1 o'clock at SJR. And he's going to have, we saw this with Dominic Campanelli as a sophomore. You see this with a lot of these sophomores. It's like, you're going to have to fight through some stuff. You're going to have adversity. You're going to have to get up off the deck. But I thought Shane, in his 5th start on Friday night, wonderful. And Johnny Dever, you mentioned he's going to Yale to play lacrosse. And we always talk about the value of having a real kicker. When you're in a 6-point game and the half is we're just about to go to the half, and you could just get to the 30-yard line. Okay, this is playing real football because why do we get to the 30? We got inside the range of our kicker. And Dever is a guy who grew up playing soccer, and then at some point in the 6th or 7th grade, the football he's a tough kid, plays lacrosse. Soccer, lacrosse, it's going to be football, lacrosse. He switches over to football, and listen, he's a valuable asset to this Don Bosco football team. And when you drill it from 47 yards and you go, and all of a sudden a 6-point lead becomes a 9-point lead, and you get the ball to start third quarter, now you're cooking with gas.
I don't know if you and Coop talked about it last week when you broke down the Bergen Bosco game the week before, but I said to you during the broadcast after he hit the field goal, I thought one of the big moments in the Bergen Bosco game when he was punting with his heels on his own goal line,
Yes.
and he ripped one. I think it traveled like 68, 70 yards, so it was like a 55. He flipped the field.
That's it.
And that changed a lot in that game.
How many times in a high school football game you see a drive stall at the 37-yard line, the punter standing at the 20, and they kind of punt the ball straight up in the air, and the guy catches it at the 45, runs it over the 50, goes out of bounds at the 43. So you just punted from the 37, they got at the 43. With these guys who were able to boom it down to the 40, 45 yards, and like you said, flip that field.
Who do you like Saturday, Joe's or Bosco?
I have high expectations for St. Joe's in this game. I'll be honest with you, okay? A lot of people don't have a lot of faith in them that we talk to. Okay, I have a lot of faith in them for this week. Of course, I'm not going to pick a winner or loser in this game. I think they're going to respond. I think Nate Bailey is. Listen, Nate Bailey's had in talking to Coach Hoffman. What's he? We can go on all day about the impressive things about Nate Bailey going to Harvard and everything. But he said the one thing that stuck out was the commitment he had to his rehab from a medical standpoint. He's literally been getting treatment and icing it all day long outside of his classes in schools, any lunch hour, any free periods. He's so determined to get healthy, and just showing his teammates how committed he is that I think he's going to be a big factor. Let's face it, Mike, come on. Is St. Joe's a different team with Nate Bailey?
Oh, my God.
I mean, so 100%. They didn't play in that St. Peter's game. They were one series of downs from the defense getting off the field and winning the game on the road, and that's football. That's football. You got to go off the field. Okay, they played really well for 20 minutes in the second half, and the last 4 minutes, the quarterback Tyler Bell goes 5 for 5. Augie admitted it. He was great on that drive. They were more physical than us. Listen, Augie Hoffman made a great statement to me on the phone, and I even asked him, "You don't mind if I share that?" And he put it pretty bluntly. He said, "We got a lot of offers. We got a lot of stars. Okay." We're going to have to match Bosco's toughness, okay? Because offers and stars is great. We love it. I'm sitting here telling you about that Bosco team from 2010, where they went, all these, St. Joe's has got guys with beautiful offers. They got some beautiful football players. But at some point, it's got to be cohesive enough to play 4 quarters and win a football game. And I think they got a great shot. I really do.
You know who's a beautiful football player? And again, they did not play well on Saturday. They're a young team, St. Hall Prep. I could not get enough of number 2, Taylor Daniels, the junior quarterback. He was terrific. 8 tackles, an interception, plays the game with ease. I thought he had a couple of calls go against him. I thought he had terrific coverage on 2 of those plays. Calls went against him. He is a big-time talent.
Yeah, and he's such a difference maker. Didn't play the first 3 games of the season for them, and listen, it just goes to show you that be careful when you judge a guy on his dimensions, because Daniels is like 5'10", 160, 165, and he hits with ferocity. He carries the ball on returns. I mean, there's a reason why Syracuse, UConn, Duke, here I am going with the offers.
Oh, he's going to get more.
No doubt. It was pretty clear that he was darn near the best player on the field out there on Saturday afternoon.
You know what, Vin? We don't need to show the highlights of this game. I wasn't into this game. Because we only were going to show 2 anyway. We talked about Bell. He's got to play better if they're going to. I'll tell you this: if he plays the way he did in 2 weeks because they're off this week against DePaul at Caven Point, DePaul will beat them. DePaul will beat them, and there's probably a lot of people over there in Jersey City thinking about Halloween night that they're going to run the table and go to Bosco undefeated. Be careful, okay? Get a little bit of body language, Tyler, okay? Get back to who you were. I don't know.
Them against St. Joe's. Do you remember how they came out against St. Joe's?
Yeah.
They put 21 points on the board to St. Joe's defense very quickly that day at Caven Point.
One guy
it's okay, man. Everybody gets a mulligan.
You know what? If he had a bad game, that's okay. It was the body language that drove me nuts.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I told you I was going to tell the truth this year. I don't care. I'm old. I'm crotchety.
There's a lot of Rich Hansons on those sidelines. I'm sure they let him know.
I would think so. One guy that I definitely want to talk about is Aaron Serino, the sophomore defensive end, 6'4", 215, number 18. I can't remember. I didn't bring that chart
18.
out. 18. He's going to be great.
Yeah, just a 10th grader, as you said.
He's so good. All right, so St. Peter's is unbeaten. Vin, put it up there, okay? So there's still, in the Super Football Conference, a decent amount of undefeated football teams. Little music. So Bosco, we told you about. St. Peter's, we told you about. How about Belleville? Belleville out of the Ivy League. Sean Sharp, 80-yard kickoff return off the safety, a free kick. They roll over Bloomfield, became Bloomfield their second loss of the year. Fort Lee out of the Ivy League Red. They go to 5-0, 42-12 over Kearney. They have Tenafly Friday. They've scored 40 or more in 4 of their 5 victories. Hanover Park, Dante Rosato in the 50-0 win. 9 carries, 174 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Pequannock is struggling. The Red Wings of Hoboken, their best start in 15 years, beat the Hillbillies of Verona 32-14. Trailed 7-0 after the first quarter. Scored the next 5 touchdowns. Isaiah, what I have here, Blanks and Devin McMillan, they both had 2 touchdowns. Kinnelon, their largest margin of victory ever against Booton, 44-18. Booton falls to 3-2. Fourth-year head coach Dustin Grand, he is really excited. They now have a school record 8-game winning streak. If you take the 2 last year to finish the year and the 6, Jim, St. Joe's Mass, 6-2 is what? 8. That's a 61-year school record. 35 or more in all 5 games. Mount Olive, Morris Knowles. Morris Knowles gave unbeaten Mount Olive a game, then hit it. Third quarter, Knowles, they're going to tie it here at 21. Jalen Jones from 58 yards. Look at him work the sideline.
We have a Mount Olive, Mike. 28-point second half. They scored 35 points or better in all 5 games.
Yep. Braden Longo, player of the week a few weeks ago. He was playing in this game. He was doing it on an offensive side, made it 28-21. And then here, Knowles is driving, and he's going to bring it back. I love when guys point. Yeah, you get him, I take him, and then I go. 97.
You do love that. You've always loved that.
And here's the icing. If Longo's interception wasn't good enough, here's Liam Shelton. Look at this. Drops into coverage, gets in front of the receiver, gets a convoy to the end zone as they go on to stay perfect. 42-21 over Morris Knowles. Old Tappan. We told you about that game. They stay perfect. Wes Morris, they go to 6-0. This is what I love about Kevin Henley, the head coach. They rolled over winless Parsippany 44-7. 16 different players touched the ball offensively. That's a coach who understands we're better, no need to embarrass anybody. 16, that has got to be a record. 16 different players.
What does that do as a coach? What do? You buy equity in your roster. You buy equity in your parents. You buy equity in harmony, Mike. And harmony is one of the most important intangibles on any team.
Phillipsburg goes to 5-0. Now, they're in the Big Central Conference, but I wanted to sneak in there because West Orange almost had them beat, then hit it. State Liners, they got taken apart in the third quarter by West Orange quarterback Brandon LaBanca. Here to Akir Morgan.
You gotta keep him off the field. So what do? You get Shane Moore running for 156 yards. But this is a good game.
You sure do. Those two hit it again here. They take the lead at 20-17. But Phillipsburg would answer late in the game. They go on a 16-play, 68-yard drive, 7.5 minutes off the clock, methodically go down the field. And you mentioned Moore, Shane Moore, he gets the game winner from 2 yards out. So even though Phillipsburg is not part of the Super Football Conference, that was more about West Orange.
More about.
You're right.
I like what you did there. And you know what? You just love the performance by Shane Moore because he's a junior, Mike. He had 156 yards.
Can't talk about him. He's not in the Super Football Conference.
But this is just a football story.
Okay.
A guy has 156 yards combined for the entire season. Okay, runs for 148 in that game, including the winning touchdown, keeping that West Orange, they're in the Super Football Conference, high-octane offense off the field.
They showed a shot during our Seton Hall Prep, St. Peter's Prep game of the fans and a sponsored segment, and I was like, well, there's not a chance in the world. Those fans at Seton Hall, they just seemed, I don't even know, it might have been St. Peter's Prep for all I know.
It was.
But listen, I can promise you this, they ain't going to win Fans of the Year, I promise, all right? So here's how you do win it. Hit it, Ben. So you think you have the best fans? Then prove it. This season, the FSC will highlight the best fans in student sections. And at season's end, we'll select the best fans of this football season. But you can't win it if you ain't in it. So send your photos and videos to admin@superfootballnetwork.com. SFC Fan Base of the Week is presented by Apple Green. Enjoy your journey.
It's the biggest deal in breakfast, Dunkin's $6 meal deal. You get a medium iced or hot coffee, bacon, egg, and cheese, and 6 toasty hash browns. Dunkin's $6 meal deal is back.
As a coach or a group leader, it's tough to focus on your team when you're focused on everything but your team. which is why Snap Mobile One brings all the management tools you need together in one app. Maximize your fundraising potential using SnapRaise, the #1 online fundraising platform with guaranteed results. Chat directly with staff, students, or parents for quick updates and seamless communication. Easily manage team rosters, update schedules, and keep your community informed. You can even set up a custom fan store for year-round revenue and community engagement. Snap Mobile One streamlines athletics and activities management so you can focus on what you do best. Take back your time. One app, every need.
When the game is on the line, you need a team that knows strength, recovery, and performance. At Alliance Orthopedics, we keep athletes moving. Stronger, faster, and better every day. For every parent, for every athlete, Alliance Orthopedics. Better every day.
Prosperity is achieved one step at a time, with each success building on the last, transforming your money into something extraordinary. Whatever your goals, the team at Kearney Bank can help them take shape with products and services that help you master your money. Your first car, college tuition, a new home, even retirement. Let's make your dreams a reality together at Kearney Bank. See how today at kearneybank.com.
Gilardi's got hands in pockets, but helmet pad's still on. Looks like it's Schmall's game for now. He can fly. He's going to run. Jaden Schmall's up the middle. He's got a convoy. Jaden Schmall's all the way. Touchdown, Del Barton.
And right here, Jaden Schmall's.
Big day for the quarterbacks up at Del Barton. I mean, the freshman going 85 yards there. The sophomore was perfect. Gilardi, like 15 of 15, 3 touchdowns. This Del Barton team, they've done what they needed to do. They started the year 0-2. Yeah. They needed to beat Pope John. They needed to beat Seton Hall Prep. They did. Listen, is this team going to make a run deep this year? I don't think so. But next year, Brian Bauer's Green Wave of Del Barton, hit it, Vin, is going to be really, really good.
First quarter, they're rolling. Here's your quarterback, Gilardi, to Grant Van Raphorst. They think that big Grant, they think he's going to be terrific, just a sophomore. Second quarter, Gilardi again to Matt Teferi.
This is on the road, too, Mike. You know, the recipe for success on the road, jump out to a lead. Del Barton went 21-0 in the first half.
Look at that cut by Kobe Urban Mason. That's from 25 yards out. Green Wave was rolling third quarter. Gilardi to Teferi again. Del Barton rolls in this one 38-15.
They'll have their work cut out for them because they're next at Bergen Catholic. Of course, the Crusaders will be coming off a loss.
Okay, let's bring Coop in. Pull it out. Pull it out, guys. Pull it out.
You didn't see what I did there?
Pull out.
Yeah, pull in. I'll pull Cooper in.
Oh, my God. We're very sloppy tonight.
Let's jump right in with Del Barton. Somebody's got to be the 5 seed, okay? Because we already know Bergen Bosco, Peters,
they're going to put St. Joe's Metuchen as the 5. They're going.
But somebody's got to play in the quarterfinals, though. If you're the you don't want to play Del Barton necessarily in the quarter. It's going to be a tough match for whoever's in that 4th spot.
Right. I'd rather play St. Joe's Metuchen than Del Barton.
Oh, well, sure.
100%.
Sure.
Well, last year we were like, you got to avoid Bergen Catholic in the semis. Now you don't know who you're trying to avoid. Bergen, Bosco,
100%
Joe's could
correct.
it be? I mean, the narrative could change with who you want to avoid in the semis after this Saturday.
Listen, this game for St. Joe's is gigantic because if they were to lose this week and then lose to Bergen, there's a really good chance that the Metuchen St. Joe's, which they shouldn't be, would be seated higher than Montvale.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. You just 3 losses.
You can make the case, but when they usually go down in Robbinsville and sit around and do the seeding, unless St. Joe's Metuchen is 9-0 and is beating everybody 400-0.
They're whacking people pretty good, Coop. And I forget they have a big game this week. I forget who it's with. That's just
is Donovan Cat? Is Donovan Cat? It's somebody good.
No, I forget. Good. I forget.
I remember seeing them too.
How good was the Wayne Hills Wayne Valley game?
They listed the crowd at 3,500. Special night, they do the orange shirts for Rocco.
Yeah.
And then for it to come down, and both guys I talked to at the end of the Wayne Valley game talked about Rocco. Because, you win a game on a block kick. Guys, I'm having this great run, like three games in a row. Bergen Bosco last play. Peters, Joe's last play, and then I covered Valley Hills last play.
Where are you going this weekend?
Where am I going? You know what? there's a team you just had they're not on the undefeated list, but having their best season in forever. The Dumont Huskies, who are my surprise team of the season.
All right, so you want to go right into your awards?
They beat Mahwah for the first time ever. 16 tries.
Wow, is that true? It's the first time ever?
Ever. It was so bad between Mahwah and Dumont. There was a time there where Dumont didn't want to play Mahwah. There was like some talk about we don't want to play them anymore. So the season Mike Farrington's having
that's fantastic.
with the Huskies, they get Paramus this week.
That's your biggest public school surprise,
correct.
Right?
Biggest non-public surprise is Peters.
So can Dumont? Will they beat Ramsey in 2 weeks?
No, we'll see. Maybe.
So
they might be that good.
So they could. So you expect them to get at least 2 more wins then?
I do.
Wow.
I do. So they're a great story. We were here last week. Where were you last week?
Yeah.
Where were you last week?
On assignment.
I was with Jackie, my wife, on our anniversary down at Del Barton.
She didn't want to be here. We're nice guys. We got pizza. We got Vin.
You took Jackie to Del Barton for your anniversary?
I don't know why Del Barton.
Listen, it would make sense.
Yeah, no. Okay.
My biggest non-public is Peter. We talked about it a little last week. What this man's trying to get done at Paramus Catholic. How hard it is to get up, to get up off the mat. Yeah. And what Peters has been able to do after 2 years on the mat to now we're talking about him as top 3, maybe top 1 team in New Jersey. It's a huge deal. And then when you sit down and look at the ingredients they had the senior quarterback, they brought in the running back, and they didn't like losing anymore. And they had a good coach, and so they had the motivation, the quarterback, and that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah, I mean, he was making his 35th, 36th start. I mean, it's it's a great body of work.
And his brother's the starting linebacker at Beckton High School. Did y'all know that?
Who's that?
Tyler Bell. Everett Bell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, senior linebacker. He's stud.
Did he play hard this weekend?
Ooh.
No.
Yes, he did. Everett Bell played hard. Everett Bell played hard.
So, you know me, if I'm saying the positive, I'm going to want the negative. So what public school right now has disappointed you so far at and we're past the midway point?
It's probably Pascack Valley, but just because of the injury situation they had.
Yep.
When we were at Wayne Hills, North Group 4 is amazing. It's loaded. I love you. We're talking about big Central Conference, Phillipsburg. But you know what Phillipsburg did last year? They beat Ramapo and Northern Highlands. That's pretty good, back to back.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at North 4 in the Super Football Conference, you've got Valley, Hackensack is still pretty tough, Ramapo and Highlands. But then who's the rival in 3 for Old Tappan? It's Wayne Hills. It looks like it's Wayne Hills. But we all thought it was going to be Pascack Valley.
That's how bad I am. When did Hills drop to 3?
What? We're seeing it everywhere. I was having a conversation with somebody else the other day, and they were saying how
that's why this game was unique, because Wayne Hills, Wayne Valley will not be in the playoffs.
Wow.
But we're seeing enrollments declining everywhere. So Hills is the 3. So Hills looks like the team for Old Tappan to get across now in Group 3. Group 4 is going to be so much fun, though. Group 4 is going to be loaded.
And Group 5 we're not excited about, right?
Group 5,
Passaic Tech.
it looks like East Orange and anybody else.
Yeah.
I was surprised Ridgewood beat Hackensack. That was a good win for them.
Sure.
That was a good win for them. And they still give teams fits. So I give the Maroons a shot to hang around.
I think Ramapo is kind of, believe it or not, a little under the radar because of that loss they had.
I could agree with that.
And it's almost like when you look at what they did to Passaic County Tech, Ramapo is probably just like, let's just get to these big games into the playoffs.
They're going to get one this weekend. There's no doubt.
That's what I'm saying.
Who's your biggest disappointment in the parochials?
I think it's Joe's. Only because Augie has entered the season saying we have to finish, guys. We have to finish games. We have to... when we have our foot on the throat, we have to end games. That's what separates us as a challenger and champions. And they just haven't been able to get over the hump yet. So I love what Jimmy... It's a huge moment for St. Joe's on Saturday. It's a huge moment. It makes me think about last year's game when Augie was back. They're going to Granitel Stadium, and Joe's looks amazing coming into the game. Best looks good. It's like, oh, my God, they brought a new dimension to the offense. and they couldn't get off the field. Bosco ran it down.
Isn't this though like a reflection of how high the bar is?
The
set
standard,
for these
of
teams?
course.
It's like he's
Mike Quick for crying out loud.
But I'm just saying, it's like
the truth.
St. Joe's has one loss, and they're fitting in the category of your most disappointing team.
I think one of the reasons that it's not St. Joe's fault, but one of the reasons it's a disappointing season is their first game was forfeit victory.
Yeah.
The Cardinal Hayes game was a waste of time.
Sure.
What they did against St. Joe's Prep down there in D.C., nobody saw. So what they see is a Paramus Catholic victory where offensively they sleptwalk. They had the ball on the other side of the 50 all night, and then they lose a game that they could have won. So I agree with Coop. I think this game is this might be. Well, the Bergen Catholic game was big last year only because they led it by 2 touchdowns after the third quarter. If you take that away, this is one of the biggest games. This might be the biggest game other than a championship that Augie Hoffman's ever coached in.
Yeah, and I think
he has to win this game.
I think he'll have their attention this week. They're playing with something to prove for sure.
It's a defining game at this time of the season
100%.
now.
How great? Listen. We're all impressed with Don Bosco and what they've been able to do. They gutted out a win 14-9 against Bergen Catholic. There was no touchdowns in the second half of that game. They drove the ball for 6.5 minutes. Fantastic. Then Mike and I did the game on Friday night. And listen, they have that little air of vintage Bosco where not only, close game early and then, put the wood to them, win going away, you know what I mean? In the end. And, they have the quarterback. They got movie star defenders. They got skilled kids emerging. So they look, but for the scene here, it's like, if Don Bosco wins, it's clearly going to be looks like there's a new leader in the clubhouse, right? Okay. But if St. Joe's were to win this game, you're talking about opening this thing up to wide open here. It's going to be fun. Either way, it's going to be fun.
I thought Bosco would win. The fact that they won so convincingly surprised me. I thought DePaul would score a few more points.
Listen,
so did I.
You have to remind yourself that DePaul lost not only 6, 1A players. They lost, 2 to Ohio State, 2 to Notre Dame. It's like, and
they got to do a better job protecting Zamet in these big games. They have to. He's too good to have to run around like that.
He can't be just a running quarterback. Correct.
I love your public school player of the year, mid-year selection. I think it's terrific.
Steve Klein from Westwood.
Love it.
How much fun, guys, is it when a Group 1 or a Group school has that one kid, and then you could just see everybody else raise their level around them because it's like everybody in Westwood kind of knows, man, if we just hang around, Klein will make a play. We've seen that play out time and time again. So he's a special, can play both ways. Westwood's been good for a long time now, guys. Back to Vito days,
right?
And they have been one of those rare Group 1, Group 2s that have not fallen off. So Steve Klein's my pick.
And like you mentioned, you're disappointed in PV. It's like, Adam Shaw, it's like, that's what Steve Klein is to Westwood. In public school, it's really Shaw is like their best offensive player and defensive player. You know what I mean? It's like, listen, we all want to have this positive attitude, and I know Pascack Valley did. Hey, he's hurt. Hey, it's the next man up, all that stuff. But wow, that is really tough to operate when you lose a player of that caliber on both sides.
Right. We've said this for a long time because it's not like the pros. It's not like college. If you lose a kid like Shaw or you lose Klein, you're losing 2 players.
100%.
And then maybe you play special teams too.
No doubt.
So you lose a 3 players.
It's a 3-player loss. There's no question. And I love, because I tried to do this in the game the other night for player of the game. I really wanted to select a certain group, but they said it had to be an individual based on sponsorship. Your mid-season offensive player.
Bosco offensive line. For a while, I used to think in non-public 4, if you had the best offensive line, it usually meant you were going to win. It doesn't play that way because football is a great game, and then you can have all the skills in the world in one spot, and it just doesn't work out that way. But this year, they've been the best group. And I like what you said. Yes, Morris is the big blonde-headed guy, eating dinner with Carson Shane the other night. Nice young man. When I saw him play, I was talking to his mom this season. How the Mariners have that guy, the big dumper?
Yeah.
That's who Rhett Morris. Rhett Morris has got it in the backside.
Oh, no doubt.
And he uses it well.
He's
got a little bit of a streak to him, a little bit of a chippiness to him.
He should. The great ones do, Coop.
They do. And I can remember, and you guys can remember when Tratow was playing offensive line, and it was like, 4th and 2, we're just run behind Trent now. You know, so if Bosco can do that, man, they're going to be really, really hard to beat.
Yeah, because you're right. Because when you talk to real football guys, I'm kind of a fake football guy. I just play one on TV. They always talk about up front. It's always about up front in these big games. You know what I mean? I mean, if you talk to Augie or Dan Sabella, they know in the back of their mind this Saturday at 1 o'clock, at 2:30, 2:45, it's going to come down to up front.
Right, there's going to be a 3rd and 2 midway in the fourth quarter that's going to turn the tide. Can we? And that's what does Peters against St. Peter's for Joe's. It's 3rd and 4 at the 42-yard line. Mm-hmm. They ran the ball. They lost yards. So we're going to see that happen. We're going to see that happen again.
Coop, when you do your polls, do you ever drop a team when they win?
You have to be a little more specific here, Mike.
All right, let's go, Vin. Here we go. Taxi squad. So we just list the taxi. Now,
Hoboken's on the list. All right.
I don't want to say we. Jimmy and I have nothing to do with this poll. I don't know where it comes from. Okay?
I know nothing.
So Hanover Park, West Essex, West Milford, Hoboken. Now, here's where I start to have issues. Go ahead. All right? Passaic Tech. All right, so Passaic Tech, they stay on the pole. They got whacked by Ramapo. Okay? West Orange. They were in a game. They lost, so I'm not going to go crazy, but they almost had Phillipsburg beaten. All right? They fall 2. I can live with it. Shabazz. All right, Shabazz, they beat Snyder. We're not going to go crazy over a win over Snyder, but Snyder is a little better than they've been. Number 8, Wayne Hills. 3 spots off a loss. It's a blocked field goal at the end. That's kind of rough, but I'm not going to go crazy about it. Okay, number 7. West Morris. They beat an 0-6 Parsippany Hills team 44-7. 16 different players for Coach Henley touched the ball. How do you drop them? What did they do wrong? In the sportsmanship of the game, I'd move them up. I mean, Coop, how do you drop a team that they win in a blowout and 16 guys touch the football? That's sportsmanship to the utmost degree.
All right, what the answer to the question, Mike? Because I have a feeling Wayne Valley's coming up on this
housekeeping,
list.
They would tell you. And they only moved down one spot. It was just housekeeping.
And sometimes you do look at bigger pictures and say, like, all of a sudden, Wayne Valley looks really, really good. Like the Highland, and at some point in time with the poll, you say to yourself, wait a minute, Wayne Valley might go really far here. They might beat Ramapo.
At number 6, East Orange. Okay, now East Orange, Coach Jake, they beat at that point, 4-1 Bloomfield team, 34-6. They dropped 2 spots. Housekeeping, where you put a team in, you got to be careful. That's what you do. You can't drop teams off wins. At number 5, Mount Olive. Okay? Good win, all right? But they beat a 2-4 Morris Knowles team, and that was a 28-21 game in the fourth quarter. They should have stayed where they were.
One final
Keep them where they are.
Versus Vernon, then it's Wayne Valley.
Okay,
that should be good.
Now, Wayne Valley comes up 6 spots.
Moving on up.
Is that too dramatic?
That's a little high.
It's a little high.
That is a little high.
It's definitely too dramatic. And I have no problem 3, 2, 1 because we're going to figure out Wayne Valley and Ramapo play on Friday night, and then number 2, Vin, Northern Highlands, and obviously Old Tappan.
And Old Tappan has beaten 2 and 3.
Highlands up next, Ridgewood at Ridgewood.
That's in 2 weeks. So Highlands and Old Tappan have the week off.
Nice.
Yeah, they get a bye. So that I went in all the years doing. I remember Ed Stinson. He lit me up one year when they won. I mean, I closed my office door 4 times in my life at the Garden because a coach was yelling at me. 3 times it was Al Paterzo from Susan Wagner on Staten Island. The other time it was Stinson, and he couldn't understand. He did preface it by saying, I don't have to agree with you, but I appreciate the fact that you watch the games. You go to the games. I didn't drop them. I jumped. I can't remember if it was, I think it was Bergen. I jumped Bergen over them. I think it was in 2004. I can't remember, but I didn't drop them. I just have a problem. You can't drop teams off wins because then it becomes coaches think we need to win more. And I think it becomes a sportsmanship. That's why I think what Henley did at West Morris was so good. Coop, have you ever heard of 16 players touching? No, that's wild.
That is fascinating. That's absolutely fascinating.
And he should be the National Coach of the Year for that. Like, that's a guy who understands sportsmanship.
Mike, though, go back to your main point about polls and rankings. I've been doing it for way too long. We could do an hour talking about it.
Oh, no doubt.
Because in the world, we are ranking, if you want to do a state poll, you're ranking group 1 schools and non-public schools. And I always tell people, do we rank Notre Dame and Montclair State in the same college football poll?
No.
We do not.
Well, you guys do a good job, but you separate yours. I like that.
Yeah, but
we do what we do.
Nothing makes people more emotional than polls and picking against them. I remember, first of all, just reflecting on Mike saying he only closed his door 4 times. That's because I worked for him for 20 years. He always yelled at me with the door open, which meant I would walk around. People go, "What?"
I yelled at you one time. You weren't prepared in an edit.
All right, but I will say, I mean, once upon a time, Middletown South didn't finish number 1 when they had no Sean Moreno.
They wanted to sue me,
and they wanted to sue. I mean, like
true.
Literally, a guy called for a lawyer, wanted information. They were going to sue us for slander. You know, we're like, you realize this is like a lot of fun here. It's a high school football poll.
It was on. You know, I got to find it. I have that letter. I'm going to read that letter. I'm going to find it. I'm going to read that letter. Where are you going to be Friday?
I'm going to Dumont.
That's right, Dumont.
Yeah. I mean,
America's team.
It's fantastic. It's a fantastic story. And then Saturday we get to go to St. Joe's for the big game.
So if Dumont wins, will you walk 100 yards with somebody from Dumont?
What a great question. You know what? I want to see him in person. We knew we were going to do a 100-yard walk this week with somebody from Wayne Hills, Wayne Valley, and it was fun. Talking to Danny was a lot of fun, and we talked about his brother.
Yes.
And they made the announcement, though, about the all-time Passaic County record, and I looked over at my friend and I was like, Derek Zamet doesn't have more yards than that? But a public school record. All right, public school record. So,
if Dumont wins, you should do the 100-yard walk down Main Street.
Yeah.
Mile it out.
Let's say
yards.
let me vouch one thing. Danny Ferrillo deserves a shot in the college scholarship. So it's hard. It's awful sometimes when you run into these guys and you know they're good, and you feel like coaches aren't necessarily looking at the tape; they're looking at the measurables.
All right, cool.
Danny Ferrillo can win.
This is what would be great next. This is a good segment for you next week. The guys that don't have offers yet that should bring 3 guys, including Danny, to the show.
Yes.
You know, like not in person, just what your thoughts are.
Are you going to yell at me if I don't do it?
No.
You will, but the door will be open.
Yeah. Okay. They're funny. All right, we'll see you Saturday up in Montvale,
I'll be there.
and if it's hot, we can always do this on Saturday.
Get ready for the Duncan Marquee matchup. This season, Duncan will be on site at select Duncan Marquee matchups, including Don Bosco at St. Joe's on October 11th, October 17th, DePaul at St. Peter's Prep, on Friday the 24th, Ramapo at Northern Highlands, and the following day, Bergen Catholic hosts St. Joe's Regional. They'll be handing out strawberry dragon fruit refresher samples and a $5 promo card for players and fans. Don't miss out. Stop by these games before kickoff and get refreshed.
Prosperity is achieved one step at a time, with each success building on the last, transforming your money into something extraordinary. Whatever your goals, the team at Kearney Bank can help them take shape with products and services that help you master your money. Your first car, college tuition, a new home, even retirement. Let's make your dreams a reality together at Kearney Bank. See how today at kearneybank.com.
Sport performance is a team effort. As former athletes and now psychotherapists, we want to help athletes train their minds with the same commitment that they train their bodies.
Through team workshops or one-on-one sessions, we will help athletes and teams develop skills like confidence, focus, and visualization.
We will help them learn to bounce back from mistakes,
manage nerves, and think clearly under pressure.
At the Lucan Center Sports Performance Program, we help support athletes and their support systems work at their best.
Book an appointment today to see how you can train your mind and elevate your game.
When the game is on the line, you need a team that knows strength, recovery, and performance. At Alliance Orthopedics, we keep athletes moving, stronger, faster, and better every day. For every parent, for every athlete, Alliance Orthopedics. Better every day.
team matchups for the Super Football Conference Network in weeks to come. This Saturday, unbeaten Don Bosco will be in Montvale to take on once beaten St. Joe's Regional. Friday night, October 17th, DePaul goes to Haven Point to take on the surprise team in the Super Football Conference, the Marauders of St. Peter's Prep. A great public school game on Friday night, October 24th. Once beaten Ramapo at once beaten Northern Highlands. Something has to give, so settle in with a nice cup of Joe and enjoy the game. And the following day, we'll be on the corner of Forest and Oradell as Bergen Catholic hosts St. Joe's Regional.
Nice job with that spot. Very nice.
You sound good too, man.
Very good.
I like you on the announcer thing.
Mike set me up in the room.
Yeah. You sound like, remember those guys when the race cars? Friday, Big Daddy Don Garland goes 200 miles per hour.
Player of the week. Here we go. Player of the week, then. There he is, Ty Cummings.
Block. It's the cabeza block, because Darren just told me he got it with his head, because the ball ricocheted way over out of sight. And Cummings, man, great pursuit, wonderful. That gets the player of the week.
Now they're going to go up against Ramapo on Friday night. Coach of the week, hit it.
Oh,
this was a really good suggestion. Coach Joe Down
is up.
First year he was an assistant on his brother's staff for the last 8 years, and then they hand High Point that real fun game, their first loss of the year. 35-28, so the Vikings go to 4-2.
Yeah, Joe told his brother, by the way, you lost to High Point last year.
You know that for a fact?
Yes, they did.
Oh, really?
It's okay. They came right back.
Team of the week, Vin? No surprise.
Wow. Hey, listen, Wayne Hills had it going in this game, Mike, and they were like, a play or two away from really getting some separation, but Wayne Valley settled down, made the plays. Listen, when you win the way they did, you're the team of the week.
You know what's great about this? Coach Benaquista in his first year, he came over from West Essex, the all-time leader in victories at West Essex, his alma mater. But he lives in Wayne with his family. And what's cool about this, all three of his kids are at Wayne Valley right now in high school, including his youngest, who's a freshman football player. So that had to be an unbelievable weekend for the Benaquista family.
And that's the move you got to make, because you get like a stack of late passes now.
Where are you going to be this weekend, Vin?
I'm going to be with you.
Really?
I'm going to be home on Friday night.
Vin?
As the Crusaders of Bergen Catholic come to Paramus Catholic. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Vin?
And then Saturday, I'll be on Chestnut Ridge Road in Montvale, New Jersey. There's our game, Bergen Catholic at Paramus Catholic Friday. Also, Wayne Valley. Right now, this is just, my gosh. Talk about ending the celebration early if you're Coach Benaquista. Okay? Boys, we got to turn the page, because we're going on the road to Ramapo. And then Seton Hall, Pope John Saturday. And then there it is, Mike. It's like, listen, it's October, so you really can't go overboard, but you and Darren put it out there. Bosco at St. Joe's, the balance of powers at stake, and the trajectory of St. Joe's season is right there.
DePaul against St. Peter's Prep Friday the 17th. Red Bank Catholic, Paramus Catholic, Del Barton, Bergen Catholic. You're doing that one with me, right?
Yeah.
And Bosco Seton Hall Prep. So that is a look at the next 2 weeks. So that's it, Vin. Anything else? You still picking St. Joe's big?
No, but first of all, I didn't pick St. Joe's big. I said I have high expectations for St. Joe's in this game. I had an agenda coming into the show today, Mike, to try and to get my Twitter followers over 3. I was in the 3,000, over 3,000. Everything went sideways, and I had to start a new account. And
did you get anything?
Okay, let's see. Hold on. Oh yeah, this is good stuff here. Let's go to the page here.
Here we go.
All right.
Once we see this, we're getting out of here.
Oh my gosh, I'm up at 14. I picked up 11 followers.
Well, congratulations.
Okay, you see that?
Let's get Cavallo to 100 next week.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Please, whoever's the 100th follower can come in and watch the show.
I asked my mother,
hell, they could do the show.
She was like, let me look into it.
Credits, Vin. Let's get us out of here.
What a disaster.
Prosperity is achieved one step at a time, with each success building on the last, transforming your money into something extraordinary. Whatever your goals, the team at Kearney Bank can help them take shape with products and services that help you master your money. Your first car, college tuition, a new home, even retirement. Let's make your dreams a reality together at Kearney Bank. See how today at kearneybank.com.
Sport performance is a team effort. As former athletes and now psychotherapists, we want to help athletes train their minds with the same commitment that they train their bodies.
Through team workshops or one-on-one sessions, we will help athletes and teams develop skills like confidence, focus, and visualization.
We will help them learn to bounce back from mistakes,
manage nerves, and think clearly under pressure.
At the Lucan Center Sports Performance Program, we help support athletes and their support systems work at their best.
Book an appointment today to see how you can train your mind and elevate your game.
When the game is on the line, you need a team that knows strength, recovery, and performance. At Alliance Orthopedics, we keep athletes moving, stronger, faster, and better every day. For every parent, for every athlete, Alliance Orthopedics. Better every day.